Hi YouTube, it's Tariq Shah. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I thought I'd celebrate by sharing an early story um, about a character that features or is mentioned within Aertha, and that is Eladontes by Tariq Shah. Here we go. Eladontes. Introduction. Eladontes, 15, male, and neutral. A self-made adventurer. Eladontes travels to faraway lands to make a name for himself. Everywhere he goes, he makes friends and in turn enemies, most of which are other adventurers. He has no main village or town to call home, but he was born in Giria, a fairly overpopulated village, where it's very hard to stand out. He did not live a bad life in Giria. His father provided for him, his mother, and his little sister. He had some close friends, and he had work lined up for him as his father's apprentice as a butcher. It just wasn't the life he wanted, and he knew this very early. At 10 years old, he started making money by doing favors for people around Giria. The favors were small at first, but as word got around of his reliability, he began doing more difficult tasks. He saved up all the money he made, and in 5 years, he told his family his plans to be an adventurer. His father did not like this idea at all, but knew he would not be able to persuade him to stay. He also knew of Eladontes' passion for quests, and deep down he knew this journey would do him good. His mother became teary-eyed of this news, and begged him to stay. Her pleas were futile. Eladontes has thought long and hard about this idea, and not once did he change his mind since he came up with it. His sister did not share with him her opinion of his leaving. She just stared at him, hoping that her expression was enough to convince him to stay. But it wasn't. She just kept staring as he walked out the door and out of her life forever. Chapter 1, Getting Started. He shuts the door behind him and stands there for a moment, taking in all the familiar sights, smells, and sounds he's experienced all his life that will soon be just a memory. All right, Eladontes holds his belt on the sides in a heroic stance, then looks up at the sky and takes a deep breath. Time to get my equipment. He takes out a list from his pocket. Things to do, things to get before leaving Giria. Map, durable yet stylish clothes, weapons, iron sword, uh, weapons, long sword and dagger, food for travel or horse. Map first. He puts the list back in his pocket and heads north en route to the general market. As always, Byers Road is overflowing with people, making the simple task of walking down the street a hard one. Pushing through the onslaught of commoners, he arrives at his destination. The general market is one of the largest and busiest stores on Byers Road. It's also one of the most disorganized. To find anything, it's best to seek the shopkeeper or an assistant. And to find them, Eladontes has learned to, instead of staying on the first floor where most of the people are at, go to the second floor and knock on the door that says employees permitted only. He quickly finds the door and does so. A man wearing a cream-colored apron, like all the employees here wear, opens the door halfway. What can I help you with, boy? The man says this in a very tired voice. And even though Eladontes knows he didn't talk down to him for his age intentionally, it still bothered him. I'm looking for a map of Giria and the city surrounding. The man gives him a curious expression. Eladontes continues to stare at him with the same bland expression on his face, in which he asks for the map. Seeing how he isn't going to tell him the reason for the map, the man decides not to ask. Right this way. He leads Eladontes to the other side of the store, to a shelf in front of a wide window. On the shelf are piles of rolled up maps, most of them yellow and of different sizes. This will just take a second. He begins to rummage through the maps, inspecting them one by one. Patiently waiting, Eladontes gazes out the window, looking down at the mess of people outside. He hates and loves Giria, and the reason is one and the same. There are always countless people around. He hates this because you can't be alone. Night is the only time you can walk the streets and not worry about bumping into each other. But even then, the streets are not completely empty. He would wait in his bedroom till all the lights went out, and then go wander the streets. He would also have fun with the night peacekeepers by running and hiding from them so they wouldn't send him home. The reason he loves the constant surrounding of people is he can observe people's strengths and weaknesses and compare them to his. This allows him to take pride in his exceptional characteristics and look up to the ones he would like to have. Just then, he spots his friend Prim down below. Eladontes has not told any of his friends about his leaving, because knowing his friends, they would want to come with him, and he can't have anyone getting in his way or slowing him down. He quickly steps to the side of the window and peers down at his friend, watching him continue on his way. Hiding from your mother, are we? Eladontes looks at the man to see an irritating smile on his face, like he's getting ready to laugh. How young do I look to you? He tries to sound as ticked off as possible. The man's smile immediately subsides. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. He looks down from Eladontes' harsh gaze and onto the map in his hand. Here you are, sir. He hands him the map. That'll be 1 gold piece, or 10 silver. Eladontes hands him a gold piece. Is there anything else I can help you find? Do you have clothes here? I'm afraid we don't. I would suggest Angloria's Apparel down the street on the corner of Byers Road and Fillers Ave. Eladontes puts the map in his brown leather backpack. Thanks. You've been helpful. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Come back soon. Things to get before leaving Giria. X map. Durable yet stylish clothes. Weapons, longsword dagger. Food for travel, horse. Chapter 2. A new friend. He enters the front door of Angloria's Apparel. Surprisingly, there are no customers. Welcome to my store. A woman with pale, clear skin and red hair in a bun is standing behind a counter at the end of the store. Her soothing yet strong voice immediately has Eladontes wanted her to speak again. He walks up to the counter and tries to start up a conversation. Slow day? He says with a smile. Yes, well, you know. Ha, yeah. They exchange a friendly smile with each other for a moment. So, what can I help you find? She now wears an interested expression. I'm looking for something to wear that is durable yet stylish. Durable yet stylish. Yes, he explains further. Something that will hold up if I get into a scuffle, but also something to impress. Eladontes didn't think this would be hard to find when he wrote the list. Are you a rogue actor running from the peacekeepers? She says this in a playful voice. No, laughs Eladontes. I'm an adventurer. I set out today. Oh, her green eyes widen with excitement. You know that makes sense. I see you around the village sometimes. Always in a hurry you are. Yeah, that's me. This pleases Eladontes. Getting recognition for being an adventurer is one of the many reasons why he is one. Anyway, I think I know something an adventurer might wear. She moves out from the counter and motions for him to follow her to a clothes rack in the middle of the store. She starts inspecting the clothes intently. So you're leaving Giria? Yes, I. That's probably for the best. Adventurer won't find many things worth exploring in a place like this. There are a lot of there are a lot of interesting places in this world that will change you for the better just by being there, and people that will challenge you in ways which will build your character, whether you succeed or not. These words really moved Eladontes. His heart was racing, knowing that this was not just an idea, but his future. Wow, you sound like an adventurer yourself. I'm not really. I'm more of a reader. She continues to look through the clothes. Sorry, but I can't find any clothes that an adventurer might wear. Her expression while saying this shows she is genuinely disappointed. Do you have any suggestions on what to do next? I hear there's a place just east of where we are that sells armor. I would try there. She looks down at her stylish green boots. I would like to accompany you if that's not too much to ask. This left Eladontes in complete shock. Having a beautiful girl ask him if she can tag along was far from his expectations. Yeah, I mean, I'd like that, but what about the store? As you pointed out earlier, it's a slow day. I won't be missing much by leaving. As they exit Angloria's apparel, she flips the sign hanging on the door from open to close. All right, Angloria, lead the way. Okay, but my name isn't Angloria. That's my mother's name. I'm Redlin. Oh, I'm sorry, Redlin. No need to be sorry. She waits for Eladontes to tell her his, but he is so nervous that he doesn't say anything at all. She impatiently asks, "And you are?" "I'm Eladontes." "Okay, Eladontes. I'm almost entirely sure that meeting each other will lead to something great." I couldn't agree more. Eladontes is now contemplating on whether or not he should ask for her to come with him on his journey. She seems to be an adventurous person herself, if only in her head. Here we are, Gorgon's Armory. As they walk through the door, Eladontes is astonished at the amount of armor there is, enough to suit up a small army. "Welcome. Gorgon is here at your service." Walking speedily towards him is a tall, gray-bearded man, with one hand up to greet them. "What can I do for you?" "Hello, Gorgon," Eladontes speaks. "I'm a novice adventurer, looking for light, durable, stylish armor. Have you something like this?" "Of course. This way." He starts walking towards the end of the store, gesturing for them to follow. He stops at a section about halfway to the end of the store. Here we have iron, medium weight, according to the scale of bronze to iron to steel. In terms of style, the iron is set up from bronze is set and a step down from steel. Iron is also at medium durability wise. He picks up an iron plate body and hands it to Eladontes to inspect. We also have iron plate legs and helmets. I'll buy the iron plate body and plate legs. Alright, that'll be 20 gold. Also, Redlin interrupts. Add in, add on an iron chainmail and plate skirt. Eladontes looked at her with shock. He immediately knew why she wanted to also buy armor. She wanted to accompany him. She smiled at his facial expression. "And if I can make a suggestion, Eladontes, you may want new boots. Yours are looking a bit rugged." He looks down and laughs. "This is true." They leave the store wearing their newly acquired armor, also acquiring looks in their direction. It seems as though your quest for fame has already begun. He looks up to see people looking at them with disgust, some just looking, and some with admiration. The warm feeling of accomplishment floods his veins once again. This is true. Things to get before leaving Giria. X map. X durable yet stylish clothes. Weapons, longsword, dagger. Food for travel, horse. Chapter 3. Fight or flee. Okay, Eladontes, where to next? Next on my list is a weapon. She wears an expression of deep thinking. There may be a sword shop on Westinger Road, on the far east of Giria. Alright, let's get there. Redlin surveys the area looking for taxiing, a taxiing carriage. She quickly finds one and waves it down. "To the sword shop on Westinger." "That's a little out of my way there, love." She flashes him a pouch of gold coins. "How far will this get us?" He eyes the pouch readily and looks back at her unimpressed. "That'll take you as far as Harmer Central." "So about halfway then?" "Aye." She hands him the pouch and climbs in the back of the carriage, Eladontes following. "So what do you expect to fight on this journey of yours, Eladontes?" She wears the look of curiosity. "What do you intend to slay?" Eladontes has to think hard on this question. As he does so, he comes up with a very simplistic answer. "Anything that gets in the way of keeping the peace." "So you're a peacekeeper now, eh?" Again she shows him a playful smile. "If need be." He stares at the window. "I'll fight whatever I'm employed to fight. How adventurous of you," she says while turning to look out her window. Eladontes can hear a hint of sarcasm. She is undoubtedly unimpressed with his answer. "Maybe I'll come across a cave-dwelling beast." Raylan looks back towards him. "Or maybe even a villainous wizard, just waiting to be attacked in his high tower." They both laugh harmoniously. "And you?" "And me what?" "If you were to go on an adventure, what would you fight?" "I am going on an adventure. With you." "I assumed I made that perfectly clear." "You might have wanted to consult with me before making that decision," he laughs. "Even so, I'm going to need someone with your attentiveness to plans and detail and your intelligence. I welcome you into my quest with open arms." In a matter of an hour, they reach Harmer Central, a place even busier than Byers Road. They get out of the carriage and survey the area, looking for a way to get to a sword shop. "We still have a ways to get there." He turns his attention to Redland. Should we hail another carriage? It will be next to impossible here. Let us walk the rest of the way. This walk won't be too hard for Eladontes. For years now, his quest would take him all over Gyria, and he would have to go on foot. Redlin is, or was, what you would call a homebody, meaning the longest walk she would take was to the general store, running errands for her mother. Thus, about halfway there, she asked Eladontes to stop, her legs wobbling with exhaustion. They walked to the closest food market, where the owner gave them 2 mugs of water free of charge. Will you need anything else? We have the best selection of food here than anyone else in the area. You made a great decision stopping here, although the food will not be free of charge. No, that will be all. He takes a gold coin and tosses it to the man. Thank you for your help. He raises the coin in recognition and walks away. This is hard. She sits down on the bench outside of the market. Eladonta is still standing and takes a sip of her water. Emphasis on the hard. Eladonta is without word. How long have we been walking for? I would say 3 miles for about an hour. I have to admit, this should not be this hard for you. I am disappointed in myself. This is as low as Eladonta has ever seen her. Her expression cries out for help. Are you ready to keep going? She up at him with sad eyes. Eladonta was never good with words. Yes, I'm ready. While taking 2 more stops, they walk another 4 miles and reach Wessinger Road. That way. She points in the direction of the sword shop, about 5 blocks ahead. Looking past all the people on the street, she tries to spot it, but fails. He becomes frustrated. How do you know? I can't see past all these dang civilians. I've been here before. It's been a while, but I'm almost certain my memory serves me well. Eladontes puts his face forward and walks at a faster pace towards his destination. They walk about a block. Just then, by surprise, a group of 3, clothed in red and brown leathers, comes out of an alleyway and stops Eladontes and Redlin dead in their tracks. Halt, armored couple! A man who appears to be their leader holds out his hand as to signal them to stop where they are. What is your business on Wessinger? Eladontes has seen this group of thugs before, but has never been confronted by them. He guesses his new armor has caught their attention. If he has learned anything from dealing with the authority-minded types, it is to attempt to get them to see him on their level without opposing a threat. It is no business of yours, he says sternly, and tries to walk around them. He's cut off by their leader. On the contrary, brave man, you see, we run this area, including the people. Nothing goes on here without us knowing. You're very unobservant, you are. I am Eladontes. I come through here often. So you're the runt getting into everyone else's business. I'm glad we caught you today. We can now tell you you're not welcome here. If you must know, Redlin butts in. We're here to get some equipment, and that's it. We won't be staying long. Well, no one asked you, did they? He flashes a glare and she backs down quickly. He returns his attention to Eladontes. How about this? We fine you, let's say 50 gold, for your invasive presence, and we'll let you stay to get your wares. After today, you'll be banned for good. This put Eladontes in a very difficult situation. If he lets these thugs pull their authority on him, odds are his reputation, at least in this area, will be diminished greatly. If he chooses to stand up to them, it will most likely turn into a fight, and he doesn't have a weapon to defend himself. I accept your fee, he says with difficulty. He takes out a pouch with exactly 50 gold and hands it to the lead thug, who hands it to the man on his right to count it. Good man. The muggers share a laugh and retreat back into their alley. The distraught Eladontes and scared Redlin carry on with their mission. A block and a half away from the destination, Redlin decides to talk to Eladontes about what happened earlier. Do you expect these type of things to go on frequently? If so, then it will take some getting used to. I can't say for sure. He leaves his response at that. True. Who knows what this world has in store for us? Eladontes secretly wonders if she will contribute more to his quest other than witty speeches. Well, since that lowlife stole some of your money, I will pay for your weapon without expecting anything in return, except for maybe gratitude. On top of being short a large sum of his money, he is now guilty for thinking such thoughts. They finally reach their destination. The only way they knew they were at their destination was looking through the windows and seeing swords hung on the walls. The shop has no sign in front that says that they are at the right place. As they walk in, they see a man sitting at a table. with his back to a wall, reading a book, supposedly the shopkeeper. Hello, sir, Redland reports him. We're looking to buy weapons. No answer. Are we in the right place? The man removes one of his hands from his book, holds up a finger, signaling he will be with them after he's done reading the sentence he's on. He finishes. Now what can I help you with? He looks up at them with low-set eyelids, like he's falling asleep. His expression almost proves a smile. We're looking for a sword, says Eladontes. And a bow, adds Redland. We will have plenty of both. Well, we have plenty of both, he says while standing. I can show you both our selection if you like. Eladontes nods. Please. The man shows them the weapons in stock and helps them with their choices. Eladontes chooses a prestigious steel longsword, once owned by a knight, directly serving under King Lorvik of Eldridge. On the hilt is Eldridge's royal insignia, known in every village and town surrounding. To go along with this sword, he also purchased a fairly dull-looking but sharp dagger, which is now sheathed on the right side of his belt, his sword being on the left. Redland chooses a longbow, cut from a maple tree. The reddish-orange wood glistens in the light. She also bought a dagger, and sheathed it onto her belt. Thank you for buying these weapons, Redland. I am grateful. No problem, Don. Eladontes gives a puzzled look. Don? Short for your name. She smiles widely. Eladontes finds this hilarious. No one has ever called him anything but his full name. Can I call you Red? That you can, Don. That you can. They share a harmonious laugh while Eladontes takes out his list. Things to get before leaving Garia. X map. X durable yet stylish clothes. X weapons. Longsword dagger. Food for travel. Horse. Chapter 4. Crivian. Don and Red venture back to the market they took their rest at, and filled their satchels with bread and dried meats and apples, 7 days' worth. Things to get before leaving Garia. X map. X durable yet stylish clothes. X weapons, longsword dagger. X food for travel. Horse. Where to next, Don? The last thing on the list is a horse. And do you have enough gold for this horse you intend to buy? He checks the sacks of money tied to his belt. I have 450 gold sacks. 200 coins should be enough. I have 150 coins, just in case that won't be enough. Thank you, Redland. You've been more than helpful. No thanks necessary. I like to think of these favors as an investment. If you're set and ready, as am I. They share a longer than usual exchange of smiles. Redland realizes this and looks away, her face reddening. She then adds, "Do we buy?" Then adds, "Where do we buy a horse from?" There's a horse stable just west of. He's cut off by a voice in the distance. Eladontes! Red and Don search for the person calling. Eladontes! A hand rises in the crowd. As the figure comes closer, Eladontes curses his luck. It is his friend Prim. Geez, Eladontes, I've been looking for you everywhere. He turns his attention to Red. And who is this? Your new girlfriend? Prim chuckles at his attempt at humor. Red and Don keep quiet. Prim is now puzzled and looks at Don. So where have you been, friend? And why is it that I have to track you down? I've been preparing for my leave, Prim. Prim is stunned. Your leave? You didn't say anything about leaving. Where is this coming from? I've been planning this since I was 10, Prim. I wanted to keep this secret because I didn't want you to have hurt feelings. He looks at Red. This is my quest partner, Redland. She waves at Prim. So that's it? His eyes start to water. This is where our friendship ends? We've known each other almost our whole lives, Eladontes, our whole lives. And to think you were going to leave and not tell me. Eladontes looks behind Prim and sees Prim's father's carriage. Not having a way back to buy his robe, he's thinking about Prim with him on his journey. The only reason Eladontes didn't tell Prim was that he thought it would be better to go on his own. But now since Redland is accompanying him, Prim might also be helpful, if only for a ride back to Westgeria. I must say, Prim, if I had known this meant so much to you, I would have said something. If you would allow it, I would like to apologize and offer you to accompany me and Redland on my journey. Will you accept? Prim does not hesitate for a second. That I will. They share a brotherly hug, and Prim leads the way to the carriage. Eladontes, Rutland, and Prim take the carriage past Byers Road, all the way to a stable near Giria's western gate. Leave the negotiating to me, Rutland proclaims. She walks up to the man in the stable, leaving Eladontes and Prim at the entrance. You, sir, I'm looking for two of your most adequate horses. Have any in mind? She starts her negotiation with the man while Don and Prim wait. Does she know what she's doing? Prim asks. I believe so. She's smart, and from what I've seen, she knows how to handle people. This negotiation should be nothing for her. They continue to wait in silence. Okay, boys, she returns. Two horses with saddles will cost 400 gold coins. Do we have it between us three? They put all of their money together. 200 from Don, 150 from Red, and 50 from Prim. Prim answers excitedly. We have it exactly. Here, Eladontes gives all of the money to Redland. Pay the man. She does what Don has told her and leads the horses to the entrance. They all get on the horses, Prim on one, and on the other, Eladontes and Redland, she being the passenger. What should the names of our new horses be? Redland asks. They both stay silently thinking. How does Crivian sound for this horse, Don? I know of a horse named Crivian which served a knight from Eldridge hundreds of years ago. If you do use this name, it will surely match your weapon of choice. All right. He strokes his horse's mane. Crivian it is. I'm naming mine your lore, after the famous horse of Rivendell, Prim exclaims. I believe that horse is from a fictional story, says Redland to Prim. Your point being? He he says almost upset. Quite. They move towards the western gate, being eyed heavily by the civilians of Giria. Once they reach the gate, they gain easy passage past Giria's guards and ride on to their next destination, Templedore. End of part one. Thanks for listening to my story, Eladontes. This was how I was writing this, maybe around writing the first part of Higrosi, and my fantasies they just continue to unfold into things I would consider um, exceptional in my opinion. But um, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed me sharing. I'll see you next time.